Finding peace through life's challenges, a story of strength and resilience. Maya grew up in a quiet town. Life seemed simple, but it was not. Challenges were everywhere. From a young age, Maya learned to be strong. Her parents taught her the value of patience. They often said, "Life isn't easy, but it can be peaceful." One day, Maya's father lost his job. The family was in shock. Bills piled up. The house felt cold. Maya could see the worry in her mother's eyes, but her parents stayed calm. They sat together, making plans. They knew they had to face this hardship as a family. Maya watched them closely. She noticed how they didn't blame each other. Instead, they supported one another. Her father found odd jobs. Her mother started selling handmade crafts. Slowly, things got better. This was the first lesson Maya learned. In difficult times, unity and calm are key. Years passed. Maya finished school and moved to the city. She found a job in a big company. The city was busy, loud, and stressful. Maya often felt overwhelmed. But she remembered her parents' example. She took deep breaths. She planned her days. She stayed calm when things got tough. Slowly, she learned to manage her stress. But then, something happened that shook her. Maya's best friend, Nisha, fell ill. Nisha was diagnosed with a serious disease. The news hit Maya hard. She couldn't understand why life was so cruel. She wanted to help, but didn't know how. Maya felt lost. One evening, she visited Nisha in the hospital. Nisha was weak but smiled at Maya. "Don't worry about me," Nisha said softly. "I have accepted this. It's hard, but worrying won't change anything." Nisha's words stayed with Maya. They made her think deeply. This was her second lesson. Acceptance is a powerful tool. Maya began to see life differently. She understood that some things are beyond control. Trying to fight them only creates more pain. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means making peace with reality. Nisha's condition worsened. Maya felt sadness like never before. She didn't want to lose her friend, but she knew she had to be strong. She visited Nisha every day. They talked, laughed, and sometimes cried together. These moments were precious. They taught Maya her third lesson. Even in the hardest times, there can be moments of joy. Eventually, Nisha passed away. Maya was devastated. The world felt empty without her friend. She struggled to find meaning in life. But then she remembered the lessons she had learned: unity, calm, acceptance, and finding joy in small moments. Slowly, Maya began to heal. She realized that life is a series of challenges. Some are big, some are small, but all can be faced. It's about how you handle them. Maya started volunteering at a support group. She met people who were going through tough times. She shared her story and listened to theirs. This was her fourth lesson. Helping others helps you heal. Maya continued to live in the city. She faced many more difficulties. Work stress, financial problems, and loneliness were common. But each time, she used the lessons she had learned. She stayed calm, accepted what she couldn't change, found joy in small things, and helped others. One day, Maya met a man named Arjun. He was kind, patient, and wise. They fell in love and got married. But even in this new chapter, challenges arose. They faced issues like any couple. But Maya and Arjun were a team. They communicated openly. They supported each other. They found solutions together. When their first child was born, life changed again. Parenthood brought new joys but also new challenges. Sleepless nights, financial worries, and the pressure of raising a child were all very real. But Maya and Arjun took it in stride. They remembered to stay calm, accept the tough moments, and cherish the joyful ones. As the years passed, Maya often reflected on her life. She had faced many storms, but she had also found many moments of peace. She realized that peace doesn't mean the absence of difficulties. It means finding calm in the midst of them. Maya's life was not perfect. It was full of ups and downs, but she had learned how to handle them. She knew that difficulties were a part of life. They could be faced with strength, patience, and wisdom. She shared these lessons with her children, hoping they would grow up strong and peaceful, just as her parents had hoped for her. One day, as Maya sat in her garden, watching the sunset, she felt a deep sense of peace. She thought about all the challenges she had faced. Some were small, some were life-changing, but she had faced them all. She had learned, grown, and found peace in the process. Maya knew that more challenges would come. Life was unpredictable, but she wasn't afraid. She had the tools she needed to face anything that came her way. And most importantly, she had learned that peace is not something you find, it's something you create, even in the hardest of times. This was the final lesson Maya learned. Peace comes from within. It is built on a foundation of acceptance, unity, patience, and love. It is strengthened by helping others and finding joy in small moments. And it is a gift you give yourself, no matter what life throws at you. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Maya smiled to herself. She had lived a life full of challenges, but also full of peace. And in that moment, she knew she had truly learned how to handle difficulties in life. She had learned how to live peacefully. After Maya and Arjun settled into married life, Maya's career took a demanding turn. The company where she worked underwent major restructuring. With it came job insecurity and increased workloads. The pressure was intense, and Maya often found herself working late into the night, sacrificing time with her family. The stress began to affect her health, and she struggled to maintain a work-life balance. At first, Maya tried to push through, believing that hard work would solve everything. But as the weeks turned into months, the exhaustion became unbearable. She was losing sleep, her patience was thinning, and she felt disconnected from her loved ones. Maya realized she couldn't continue like this. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Maya sat down with Arjun. She poured out her frustrations and fears. Arjun listened patiently, holding her hand. "You don't have to carry this burden alone," he said softly. "We'll figure this out together." That night, Maya reflected on her father's words from years ago. Life wasn't just about surviving challenges, it was about facing them with wisdom. She decided to seek help from a mentor at work, someone who had been through similar situations. The mentor advised her to prioritize her well-being and to set boundaries. He suggested taking a step back, assessing her career goals, and considering new opportunities that aligned better with her values. This was a turning point for Maya. She realized that facing difficulties didn't always mean pushing harder. Sometimes it meant reassessing the situation and finding a new path. With Arjun's support, she started looking for other job opportunities. It wasn't easy, but she knew she needed to make a change for her peace of mind and for her family. After a few months of searching and several interviews, Maya found a new job that offered a better balance between work and life. The new role allowed her to continue growing professionally while also giving her time to focus on her health and family. This experience taught Maya her fifth lesson: true strength is knowing when to make a change. As their child, Arav, grew older, new challenges emerged. Parenthood was full of joy, but it also brought stress, worry, and fatigue. Arav was a bright and energetic boy, but he struggled in school, particularly with reading and writing. His teachers were concerned, and so were Maya and Arjun. They wanted to help Arav, but they didn't know how. Maya often stayed up late, researching learning difficulties, trying to understand how to support Arav. She felt guilty for not noticing the signs earlier and worried about how Arav's struggles would affect his future. The stress began to take a toll on her again, and she found herself slipping back into old habits of overworking and neglecting self-care. One day, after a particularly frustrating meeting with Arav's teacher, Maya broke down in tears. She felt like she was failing as a mother. Arjun found her sitting alone in the living room, her face buried in her hands. He sat beside her, letting her cry. Maya, we're in this together, he said gently. Arav is a wonderful child. We'll find a way to help him. But you can't do this alone, and you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself too. Arjun's words reminded Maya of the importance of balance. She realized that to be the best mother she could be, she needed to be kind to herself. She couldn't solve every problem on her own, and she didn't have to. Maya reached out to a child psychologist and a tutor who specialized in helping children with learning difficulties. With their guidance, she and Arjun worked together to support Arav. It was a long journey, filled with ups and downs, but over time, Arav began to improve. He gained confidence and started to enjoy learning again. Through this experience, Maya learned her sixth lesson: asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. Just as things were settling down, life threw Maya another curveball. Her mother was diagnosed with a serious illness. The news hit the family hard. Maya felt a deep sense of fear and helplessness. Her mother had always been her pillar of strength, and now she was the one who needed support. Maya took on the role of caregiver, visiting her mother every day, managing her medical appointments, and ensuring she was comfortable. It was exhausting, both physically and emotionally. Watching her mother's health decline was heartbreaking, and there were days when Maya felt overwhelmed by the weight of it all. During this difficult time, Maya's mother remained incredibly strong. She accepted her illness with grace and focused on the time she had left. She often reminded Maya to take care of herself and to find joy in the little moments they shared. One evening, as they sat together on the porch, her mother shared some words of wisdom. Maya, life will always have its challenges, but remember, it's not about how much time we have, it's about how we spend it. Find peace in the present and don't let fear take away your joy. These words resonated deeply with Maya. She realized that even in the face of loss, there could be peace. Her mother's strength and acceptance taught her seventh lesson: peace comes from living in the moment and finding joy despite the difficulties. When her mother passed away, Maya was heartbroken, but she also felt a sense of peace. She had spent meaningful time with her mother, and they had shared many beautiful moments together. Maya knew her mother's wisdom would stay with her forever. As Maya entered the later stages of her life, she found herself reflecting more on her journey. She had faced many hardships: financial struggles, career challenges, parenting stresses, and the loss of loved ones. Yet, she had also experienced great joy, love, and peace. The lessons she had learned over the years had become a part of who she was. Maya began practicing mindfulness and meditation, seeking to deepen her sense of inner peace. She learned that peace wasn't something she had to search for outside of herself. It was within her all along. It was about being present, accepting life as it was, and letting go of the need to control everything. She started sharing her experiences with others, writing about the lessons she had learned and speaking at community events. People admired her resilience and the calmness she exuded, even in the face of adversity. Maya's life became a beacon of hope for many who were struggling. In her later years, Maya found a new passion for gardening. She loved watching the flowers bloom and the vegetables grow, each plant a symbol of patience, nurturing, and the natural flow of life. Gardening taught her her eighth lesson: life, like a garden, requires care, patience, and trust in the process. Maya's garden became her sanctuary, a place where she could reflect, heal, and find joy. She spent hours tending to it, finding peace in the simple act of nurturing life. The garden flourished, just as Maya had, despite the challenges she had faced. As the years passed, Maya looked back on her life with a sense of fulfillment. She had faced many storms, but she had also learned how to find peace amidst them. The lessons she had learned: unity, calm, acceptance, finding joy, asking for help, living in the moment, and nurturing life had guided her through every challenge. Maya knew that difficulties were a natural part of life, but they didn't have to rob her of peace. She had found a way to handle them with wisdom, patience, and love. Her life was not without pain or loss, but it was also full of beauty, growth, and deep, abiding peace. As she sat in her garden one last time, surrounded by the flowers she had nurtured, Maya smiled. She had lived a life full of challenges, but she had also lived a life full of peace. And in the end, that was all that mattered.